Hey everyone, today I am making a card with this adorable stamp set by Lawn Fawn. And I have some green ink that I am going to use here. I believe it is called Key Lime and it is by Close to My Heart. And I just want a really light shadow on here. So I was going in really light-handed at first and you can barely see anything, so I can apply a little bit more pressure. And I am making this card for the Clean and Simple Instagram hop. And obviously the idea of a clean and simple card is to have a lot of white space, limited embellishments and bling, and just really not too much going on. So I am going in, this was the lightest green ink that I owned, and so that's why I chose this one, because I just want a really pale green shadow that is going to go behind these adorable pickles. So this stamp set is called How You Bean Pickle Add-on by Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to use that group of pickles there. So I was just kind of trying to place it over and see if I had enough green on there, but there was too much going on that stamp set, so I'm just pulling the actual stamp off itself, and I will lay it on top of there and see if I need to add any more ink at all. And let's see here. I think that is enough. That allows for a lot of white space left on the card. So I'm going to bring in my Misty, and I will line that up in there so that I can, oh, coffee first, that's important. Anyways, back to the card. I will line my card up in here so that I can get the stamp positioned. There we go, I think that looks good. So I'll pick up the stamp on the lid there, and then I am using Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and this is just to do the first layer of stamping, and it doesn't have to be a really good impression because my idea is to color these in with alcohol markers just to give them a little bit of a different green definition. But you can see here I'm pausing because I just realized I cannot do that. I was going to use my Ohuhu markers and color these in with a couple different shades of green, but I did this right on the card base itself because I'm trying to keep like minimal layers. And if I color this in, you're going to see, oh, I think this is where I just realized it. If I color it in, you're going to see the color bleed through to the inside of the card, and I do not want that. So you know what? I decided this is green enough for these pickles. So I am getting out my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and I'm going to stamp it with this. This is a brand new ink pad. I've used it a couple times now. My old one, if you've watched any of my other videos, I was having to stamp things 3 and 4 times because my ink pad was so dry. And I finally got a new one. I find for me, this is, I think, the 3rd time I have bought the VersaFine Clair Nocturne. It generally, that one ink pad lasts me about 1.5 years, and I use it like daily. So now, instead of coloring these, like I said, they're just going to stay the green that they are, but there are little facial expressions in this stamp set. There's, I think, 3 or 4 different facial expressions. So I'm just bringing out a tiny acrylic block to stick that on, and I'm going to use that same VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and I'm going to stamp little faces. So I don't like to put the same expression like right next to each other, so I think this first one I'm going to do 2 different pickles, and then I will clean that off. Now this card did not take long. Most of my cards I tend to speed up a lot of the process, and this one I just left it all as is, so this is all in real time. I'm coming in with a different facial expression now. Just checking my stamp set to make sure which one I have. And I am going to stamp, I believe, 2 more pickles with this expression. And I will quickly clean off that little stamp. And I will pop it back in the package and get out another expression. And this last one here, I am going to stamp the 3 remaining pickles with this facial expression. If you're on Instagram, you can find me over there at Shanti Art Creations and check out the Instagram post for this, and there will be all the other creators listed on there that you can hop through and see all the fabulous creations that everyone is making for this clean and simple Instagram hop. And this one for the month of March, the theme is friendship. Now this stamp set also has a little stamp that you can add a few more bumps onto the pickles. There already are a few on each pickle in that group, but it's nice to individualize them a little bit. So I am just going to add a couple little bumps on, I think maybe 3 of the pickles I added them onto. The stamp set is so adorable. It's got some really cute sentiments on it. And I even made some Christmas cards with that this past year, and they turned out really cute. And I'm going to give this one a clean and put it away. I do like to clean as I go for the most part as I'm crafting. You don't always see that in my videos because sometimes I edit parts of that out. Sorry if you heard that little yelling in the last little bit there. My husband is in the opposite end of the house and his hockey team just scored, so he was just cheering. It was probably really faint on the video, but you might hear it. Anyways, I am lining this back up in the Misty again and bringing out my sentiment, and the one I chose for this says, "I relish our friendship." So I'm just deciding where I wanted it. I wasn't sure if I wanted it off to the side or directly underneath the little group of friends there, and I decided directly underneath was the perfect spot for this card. So I'm just picking the stamp up with my Misty Door and then bringing in that VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink again. And I always just double check that my card is positioned right in the corner before I stamp it down. And stamped perfectly, so giving that a clean, popping it back in its packaging. But seriously, please do go check out the Instagram post and find everybody else's creations. There's some wonderful creators, and I'm excited to see what all they've made for their clean and simple cards with the theme of friendship. So mine is done. I'm just kind of cleaning up a little bit here. Of course, grab another sip of coffee. And here is my finished card. Very clean and simple. Cleaner and simpler than I had planned on, but anyways, there it is. I relish our friendship. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful, peaceful day.